Think we can start now. Let me do one thing.
Do we have the Council General and Dr. Deshpande? I was just waiting for both of them.
I think they have come.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm here, Piyushji.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you. I was just waiting for both of them.
I think they have come.
Okay.
जनगण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल बंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मांगे गाहे तव जय गाथा जन गण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे.
And give me one moment. Just one second.
Welcome. Happy Engineers Week and welcome to the awards ceremony for the ASCI 34th National Convention that was held last month. As a national organization of engineers, scientists, and technologists hailing from the Indian diaspora, ASCI focuses on youth empowerment, Indo-US technical collaboration, and opportunity creation for career advancement, networking, and knowledge sharing. And we do this through a variety of our programs, such as Mentor Connect, University Connect, Youth Technology Exchange, STEM programs, Engineering Tales, and Corporate Connect programs. The 34th National Convention's theme was Sustainable Technology Innovations. That theme reflects ASCI's vision and commitment to support United Nations Sustainable Development Goals through technology advancements and innovations to address one of the largest challenges our world has been facing. There are concerns about global climate change and uncertainty of energy demand supply, and ultimately the survival of our species as well. Today, As we continue to battle the 2-year-old COVID pandemic, the recent conflict in Europe is making things worse for the geopolitical and economic stability and future of our world. However, we all know that war has never been a solution to any problem. We, the people of Indian origin, have always believed in the motto of Satyameva Jayate, or truth always prevails, which is adopted from the Manduka Upanishad, which is an ancient Sanskrit Vedic text embedded inside Atharva Veda. I personally firmly believe in Vasudeva Kutumbakam, that world is one family, and we cannot rejoice when others are in pain. And I sincerely hope diplomacy prevails in the situation today. I have an appeal for the world leaders to stand united against unprovoked aggression, and for all scientists, technologists, and engineers of the world to use their intellect and abilities to innovate and build technologies that usher in peace and prosperity for all. Talking of today's event, today we'll be celebrating the chosen few whose success stories hopefully inspire the next generation of budding engineers and technologists. And I sincerely hope each of these winners will be able to join hands in ASCI's mission going forward. Talking of diplomacy, we have career diplomats here with us as chief guests. So we'll get to their introduction in a moment, but moving on to the main agenda, I want to remind everyone that ASCI has a tradition of recognizing outstanding engineering, scientific, and entrepreneur talent each time we do a national convention. So first of all, let me welcome our honored guests and all awardees who are being honored today. And with that, let me share my screen if I hope I can do that. This is the lineup of our speakers that we had for the Aerospace Symposium and the CXO Summit as part of the 34th National Convention held last month. And I want to give a big shout out and thanks to all the speakers, sponsors, volunteers, and attendees for making this the biggest ever event for us. And of course, I want to acknowledge O'Reilly for their book prizes that they are sponsoring for the YTE. I covered the State of the Union during the convention, but a lot of good things have happened. In a summary, I'll say our newsletter was revived in 2021. We had started a lot of new initiatives like Mentor Connect, Engineering Tales, continued with webinars, and of course, using social media and holding 30 events in 1 year of the pandemic. We were able to do outreach to our members, and hopefully very soon we'll start doing in-person events as well. I want to just throw it out there that we as an organization have not been speaking about membership a lot, but I want to throw this out. The basic membership and the student membership is free for all in this organization. It is a 39-year-old organization started in 1983 in Michigan. And with that, we have many, many chapters in different cities. Sometimes the number of chapters grows and falls. There are university-based chapters as well, student chapters. And this is our latest schedule where you can be a professional member for a small amount per annum, which is cost of just a dinner. And a life membership is a one-time payment of 500. And we have introduced the pattern level as well, one time. And of course, sponsors and donors are always welcome. And we've had Juniper and Boeing and ICCI Bank as our sponsors very recently. And of course, in kind, O'Reilly. Today, as we get on to the agenda of these are the various folks who are going to be recognized one by one. But before we go there, we have a message from our ambassador of India to US, Ambassador Taranjit Singh Sandhu. And unfortunately, he couldn't be here in person, or so he has sent this message. And I want to thank Consul General, who I'll be introducing shortly as well. This is the message from Taranjit Singh Sandhu, Ambassador of India. I extend my warmest wishes for the 34th Annual National Convention of the American Society of Engineers of Indian Origin. I congratulate Dr. Gururaj Deshpande for being conferred with the ASCI's Lifetime Achievement Award. My felicitations also extend to other awardees for their noteworthy achievements in their respective fields. I'm pleased to see that ASCI has grown to be a national organization with chapters in several US cities. It has registered significant footprints in its journey of close to 4 decades in the United States. Its achievements should inspire the Indian diaspora. People-to-people ties are at the heart of India-US partnership. Educational, scientific, and technological exchanges have played a central role in deepening this partnership. More than 200,000 students, many of them from STEM areas, continue to build bilateral knowledge ties. Indian professionals, including those represented by ASCI, have made major contributions to the innovation ecosystem in the United States. The diaspora's role behind the tech ascent in the United States is indeed remarkable. I would also compliment the interest among the professionals from the community to contribute to India's development journey. Your success and professional excellence have made us all proud. I take this opportunity to once again congratulate all the awardees. Signed by Taranjit Singh Sandhu, Ambassador, on 25th February 2022. And before we get on to our awardees, and I want to welcome Consul General Dr. TV Nagendra Prasad, who is a career diplomat. As I said, he is the IFS officer from the batch of 1983, and I'm just going to read his brief bio in a moment. Before taking over as the Consul General of India at San Francisco, Dr. Prasad served as at the Ministry of External Affairs as Joint Secretary, heading the Gulf Division. He joined the IFS in the year 1993, as I mentioned, and served in various positions in Indian missions, including Tehran, London, Thimphu, Bern, and Ashgabat. He was India's ambassador to Turkmenistan from July 2014 to January 2018. And back in home in India, he served as the Regional Passport Officer in Bangalore, as well as Project Director of Passport Seva Project. And he was born in the district of Warangal, Telangana. He graduated from the Andhra Pradesh Agricultural University and received his doctorate from the prestigious Indian Agricultural and Research Institute in New Delhi, and which is, I must say, just about a mile away from where I was born and brought up. So very glad to welcome you here. Ambassador Nagendra Prasadji, welcome.
Namaskar, and thank you very much, Piyushji. You made me a decade older by saying 1983. It is 1993. It doesn't matter. So thank you very much for this invitation, and I'm really honored that I'm amongst the legendary engineers, and then also Dr. Deshpande. Actually, the engineers have made India proud with their professional excellence and then hard work abroad, particularly in the US. This year, India is celebrating 75 years of independence, and it is called Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav. We are celebrating 75 weeks. And to suit to our Consulate General office in San Francisco, we started the celebrations with a virtual seminar on technological evolution in India, with all the legendary speakers from India and then here. I would like to greet you all on this special occasion. I would like to begin by congratulating all the awardees at this 34th convention. Congratulations to Dr. Deshpande. He's a legendary figure here, and no need to introduce or no. It's a very, very well-deserved award among many other awards he might be getting or he might have got. I also congratulate ASEI for honoring, for making this as a practice, honoring professional excellence in engineering across US. And we are so happy, and then we really feel proud sometimes our sons and daughters of India have become so professional and then experts, and then they are recognized very well in this land. It's certainly a pleasing experience to be recognized by a professional organization like yours, American Society of Engineers of Indian Origin. I think it will, as Ambassador mentioned in his letter, it will inspire many others to come. It's very heartening to note that ASEI has gradually over the last 40 years, it has grown into such a big organization with several chapters across the US. I must mention my son also an engineer. I just saw your membership thing, so I will also, he's a student, so I'll ask him to join.
Absolutely.
And it has chapters, of course, I think Silicon Valley might be the largest concentration, if I'm not wrong. And every other person I meet in Bay Area are, an engineer, whatever software, mechanical, whatever it is. And many of them again turn into venture capitalists, which is again a welcome development. We see them flourishing and then raising the bar. India and United States are natural partners with shared values of democracy and then rule of law. You all know that the relations have been growing from strength to strength, particularly over the past decade. Our trade has been growing, and the exchange of engineers has been growing. As Ambassador mentioned in his letter, there are at any point of time 200,000 students. So there is a strong convergence of interest across the board and then broad spectrum. We have various verticals. You name a vertical in wherein India and the US is not cooperating. Take it healthcare, take it technology, take it space. The professional and technological exchanges and interactions play a very, very crucial role in advancing this particular partnership, and then you are playing a significant role. As I mentioned, all these 200,000, so majority of them are in STEM areas. Again, cooperation in STEM areas has emerged as a strong link in our bilateral matrix. Indian professionals like engineers, IT professionals, researchers have continued to play a crucial role in deepening this relationship. And I must also mention that this has benefited equally both sides, and then it is appreciated here and then in India. Silicon Valley is a standing example of how our partnership in this area has come, and then how much more potential we have, and then how much benefits can be spread to not only to the two countries but to globally. Most interesting thing is many of you are deeply connected to India and are committed to give back to India, where you grew up and then studied. I keep hearing from everyone this, and the best example I can see the legendary Deshpandeji, who has been doing a lot in India with all innovative work, I heard something like sandbox, no Kakatiya sandbox in Andhra, but no, started it in Karnataka. And see, India is currently the fastest growing large economy. And particularly in tech and startup space, you all might be noticing the churning out of unicorns out of India. So that is what the ecosystem has been created in India. And you all can play a very, very important role in mentoring, in supporting, in scaling up. These all sometimes I hear from India that about 60,000 startups are there in over 500 districts. And India is doing so well thanks to you all. You are all already playing a role, and then there is a lot to do. And I must also mention that your professional excellence makes all of us really proud. Your achievements are fruits born out of tree whose seeds were sown in India, because most of you might have studied in India. The stronger roots are necessary for a very, very healthy tree. I request you to reflect on how to give back to India. This is a crucial moment wherein you contribute a lot. And then it will be mutually beneficial, I must assure you. And you might have already contributed directly or indirectly, but this is the point of time in the history you can play a great role. You have one example, as I mentioned, Dr. Deshpande, his works in India should inspire all others to take up such works in rural areas, and then in areas where really you can matter, your contribution can matter. With these few words, once again, I thank Piyush ji and then the entire ASEI for giving me this opportunity. I really feel honored, and I wish you all to continue to accomplish newer heights in your own personal fields, and also rise and then stand as an example of a link between India and then US. Dhanyavad, thank you, Jai Hind.
Thank you, Dr. Prasadji, for being here. And please stay here as we start the function of giving the awards. But before I invite our first awardee onto the stage, I would like to introduce him properly. And I'll ask you to give the award in a moment. Dr. Gururaj Deshpande is no stranger to the Indian community, but for those who have not heard about him, I would like to introduce him. He's a trustee of the Deshpande Foundation and the president and chairman of Sparta Group. Dr. Deshpande has pursued an entrepreneurial career for the last 3 decades. He was involved either as a founder, a founding investor, or chairman of several companies, including Cascade Communications, Sycamore Networks, Coral Networks, Tejas Networks, Web Dialogues, Airvana, Sandstone Capital, A123 Systems, and Curata. Dr. Deshpande lives in Boston and has served as the life member of the MIT Corporation, and his support has made possible MIT's Deshpande Center for Technological Innovation. The Deshpande Foundation strengthens ecosystems that create significant social and economic impact through entrepreneurship and innovation. And Dr. Deshpande holds a BTech in Electrical Engineering from the Indian Institute of Technology, Madras, and a ME from University of New Brunswick in Canada, and PhD from Queen's University in Canada. Dr. Deshpande co-chaired the National Council to support President Obama's innovation and entrepreneurship strategy from 2010 to 2015. In recognition of his body of work in engineering and entrepreneurship, and as a creator of innovation ecosystems that have created significant social and economic impact over the past 3 decades, ASEI is honoring Dr. Deshpande with a Lifetime Achievement Award. I now request Counsel General to read the citation on the award plaque to formally confer the award, and Dr. Deshpande to come on the screen with his award, which hopefully he has already received. So if I'm sharing my screen, let me know. I want to make sure it is visible.
Yes.
Okay, awesome. Let me then move on to the slideshow mode. Dr. Prasad, would you mind reading what's written here?
The American Society of Engineers of Indian origin, the 34th National Convention, ASEI Lifetime Achievement Award presented to Dr. Gururaj Deshpande, President and Chairman, Aspartic Group, Founder and Chairman, Sycamore Networks. Congratulations, Dr. Deshpande.
Thank you.
Thank you. And congratulations, Dr. Deshpande. You may take the floor for your keynote, please.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much, Dr. Nagendra Prasad, Piyush Malik, fellow awardees, and a lot of the younger people listening to us on the YouTube. I know all the fellow awardees are very distinguished people, so there's not too much I can tell you, but I thought maybe I would take this opportunity just to reminisce a life that all of us have lived over the last few years in America. You know, this is about Indian engineers in America. You know, when I graduated from IIT Madras in 1973. So a good 20 years before the Consul General. And I actually majored in computer science, but there was a huge difference between the access to technology in India and access to technology in America. Even though I majored in computer science, I had never seen a computer in my life. So the way we were taught programming in India was they would give us a problem to solve, and those days it was only Fortran. So we would write the program. We would say A is equal to 3, B is equal to 5, C is equal to A plus B, print C, and give it to the professor. The professor would look through it and say syntax error and give it back to us. And then we would resubmit again. And then when you got the program right, then you got your grade. And so that was the difference in technology between what was available in India and what was available here. And it's amazing what's happened over the last 50 years. So if you just look at the technology and the engineers, you know, American engineers who came here earlier on in 60s and 70s, they were all considered good graduate students. And then in the 80s, they were then recognized slowly as research engineers. And then slowly over the next year or so, a few entrepreneurs started popping up. And then turn of the century, it's amazing now. You know, you see in pretty much every field, whether it's deans or presidents of universities or CEOs of companies or getting funded. You know, all you need is an Indian name now, and you get appointed as a CEO of a large company and you get funded. So it's amazing how things have turned around. And in the 70s, most of us who came here, when we went back to India, we would sort of get a cold reception in some ways. You know, people would say, you know, you're traitors. You took so much, India spent so much money educating you, and you deserted the country and went away. But the people who came here earlier on, you know, did extremely well. I mean, congratulations to all of you. And then they started companies and they showed what's possible. But that was enough to show India that they can do it too. And then it was amazing to see companies popping up in 90s and 2000s, where those companies were a lot bigger than any company, any American entrepreneur built in America. And that brought right back to US. So it's amazing dynamics between the Indian engineers in America and the engineers in India. So what it showed is that it's not just a few IITs and a few talented people in India, but there is a lot of hundreds, thousands and millions of people who are very, very talented. It's just that they never had the opportunity. And so when India started doing well, it brought a lot of pride and prestige to the Indian engineers in America. In fact, I've been on the board of MIT for the last 20 years or so. So 20 years ago, when an Indian professor put up his resume on the website, he would say he got his PhD from Stanford, Princeton, wherever. He would never put his undergraduate degree. But now, every Indian professor takes so much pride in saying that he is from some IIT or some distinguished engineering college from India, because there's a premium to having come from India. And just like the Consul General was saying, having those strong roots to your what we have done. So it's nice to see that thing play together. And then it's also amazing to see in one lifetime the progress of technology. When I graduated, when I finished my PhD in computer communications, the state of the art in '79 was 300 bits per second over the phone line. And I joined a company, a startup, where we were able to do 9,600 bits per second on a modem. And that was like magical. It required a lot of very, very high-tech technology, some deep modulation techniques and everything else. But it's amazing to see in one's lifetime how we went from 300 bits to 1,000 bits to 10,000 bits to 1 million to a trillion to, now it's just terabits. And so all of this happened in a fairly quick fashion. And in those days, technology was relevant to a very few people. For example, in the '70s, when we were using computers meant maybe there were 100,000 people in the whole world for whom the computers were relevant. And most of the technology development was to make sure that other technologists had good technology to do their work. But now, the technology has pretty much penetrated every field that we can think of. And so technology comes very naturally to all the young people growing up, whether it's in India or here. It's technology is second nature to them. So I think our trust for the younger people moves from not so much mastering just technology, but making sure that that technology gets put to good use. We know what bad things you can do with technology, like what's going on in Ukraine and so on, the amount of misery it can cause to people, but it has done a lot of good for a lot of people too. And the technology progress, where it doesn't matter whether it's computer or communication or AI or ML or nanotechnology, where it can pretty much arrange every atom by atom and create things, is just mind-boggling. In fact, I got to see the whole COVID vaccine development. The genome of the virus became available to Moderna, we're all MIT engineers, on January 23rd. Within the week, they had the vaccine. And then, of course, it took about 9 months to get all the clinical trials done and everything else. And it's just amazing what's going to happen. And so we can all see that our life has changed dramatically over the last 10 years. But this pace of change is only going to accelerate. And so all the young people either have a choice to grudgingly accept the change or willingly lead the change. And I hope all of you will willingly lead the change, but change the better, change it so that the world becomes a better place. So having that value system, the purpose as to why you use the technology becomes very important. We all hear about this inclusive growth. In fact, technology is creating a huge divide. There's a lot of people automating things, but there's a lot of people being automated. And so there is haves and have-nots. And I would say in India right now, it's 20%, 80% who have and who don't have. And in US, it's 80% and 20%. And that divide will just continue to widen unless we do things in a slightly different way. And that's been what I've been trying to engineer for the last 50 years. And those of you who are, I'm sure all of you have a deep compassion to do something for the people who are being left behind. And so being engineers, I'll just leave you with one equation that you can ponder about. For the haves, for the people who have disposable income, if you want to have an impact on their lives, the formula that you would use is innovation plus relevance is equal to impact. Meaning, unless you come up with something that the world has not seen before, you really cannot have an impact on the people who have disposable income because they have choices. They're Googling for solutions. You can't just go and say, I'll improve your life unless you have something new to offer to them. So innovation becomes very important. And then you direct it to some burning problem that people have, and then more than likely you'll have an impact on their life. But when it comes to the other people who are being left behind, their lives are a lot more difficult. And therefore, the equation gets turned around and it becomes relevance plus innovation is equal to impact. Meaning you have to co-create the solution with them because you don't quite understand their risk tolerance, their lifestyles and everything else. So it's very presumptuous of any of us to think that we can create a solution for them without really being one of them. And so relevance becomes very important. Innovation takes a secondary seat, but once we co-create the solution and start building capacity, it gives you an opportunity to introduce more and more technology to scale those solutions and have a bigger impact. And that's what I and Jayashree, my wife Jayashree also went to IIT Madras. And so we've been trying to champion that cause. And we are seeing some possibilities of success. For example, we do a program called Farm Ponds. We've done about 6,000 of them. We're doing 100,000 of them. But we have a chief technology officer in Silicon Valley, Shubho Biswas, who actually just built a rural transformation technology center where he monitors 30 satellites all the time. And given a piece of land, we can recreate the history of that land for 30 years and look at the water patterns and so on, and really solve these problems. So those of you, technologists who are really interested in getting involved with any of that work, please reach out to me and I'll be very happy to help you with your efforts. So as Consul General said, there is a lot of people who are being left behind, both in US and in India. So we have a program here called E4All. We have 1,000 businesses. 75% of them are led by women. 50% of them were previously unemployed. 70% of them are of color. And so if, entrepreneurship is entrepreneurship. It doesn't matter whether it's you build a Google or whether you build a small business. The ability to get up in the morning and being excited about what you're going to be doing that day is the biggest blessing you can have in life. And that's the gift that we need to bring to everybody in the world so that everybody has a good purpose for them to get up in the morning and lead a very happy life. So I'm sure all of you are committed to creating an equitable, just world. And I wish you all the best. And thank you. Thank you for making me part of all of you.
Thank you, Dr. Deshpande. This was an amazing message, very inspiring, and I'm personally very inspired. So definitely we'll be in touch. And congratulations again. And we talked about various membership levels. Today, we would be conferring on you an honorary membership of ASCI, but we hope to be involved with you a lot more. And I have to announce one thing. We got our first patron signing up today, and he is none other than the son of our founder, Dr. Hari Bindal. So let me welcome Dr. Neeraj Bindal on the stage to to take over the program for honoring our next awardee, which is our Hari B. Bindal Founders Award. Neeraj, over to you. You're muted. Neeraj, we can't hear you.
Okay, see, I'm not the engineer. So appreciate it. Thank you for inviting me. And it's really a privilege for me to be able to present the Haribo Bindle Founders Award. And this year, the award goes to no other than Dr. Thomas Abraham. Congratulations. Dr. Abraham, a few words about him. He is a leading market researcher in new technologies. He is an expert in advanced materials and nanotechnology. He is the president of Innovative Research and Products, a technology and market research firm based in Stamford, Connecticut. Dr. Abraham received his MS and PhD from Columbia University after his metallurgical engineering degree from Jaipur. He has written over 50 papers that have been published in various professional journals and magazines. He is also a social entrepreneur, mobilizing and unifying the Indian diaspora. He can be given credit to coining the word PIO back in 1989, people of Indian origin. He has been behind the NRI PIO movement for the last 4 decades. He has been intimately involved in initiating and building several NRI PIO Indian community institutions. One of his greatest achievements is the founding of GOPIO, Global Organization of People of Indian Origin, where he continues to serve as chairman. Notable victories of the organization include campaigning on the PIO card, dual nationality, and being admitted as an NGO at the UN Conference Against Racism and Racial Discrimination. In recognition of his leadership and service to the Indian American community, Dr. Abraham has been honored with innumerable community service awards, including the prestigious Pravasi Bharatiya Samman Award presented by the President of India and the Bharatnashi Gaurav Award given by the Vice President of India in 2008. Dr. Thomas Abraham is an ASCI Life member, having served in various committees such as public relations, awards and elections, while being on the ASCI National Board during the past 8 years at the invitation by the founder of ASCI, my father, Haribo Bindle, to join ASCI. In recognition of his services to the community and ASCI, we are pleased to confirm the Haribo Bindle Founders Award on Dr. Thomas Abraham. This award carries a plaque signed jointly by the ASCI President, Piyush Malik, of course, and myself, along with a cash award of $1,000, which may be used for any nonprofit cause of their choosing. Again, congratulations, Dr. Thomas Abraham.
Thank you. Thank you, Piyush. Thank you, Dr. Neeraj Binda. First of all, greetings to our Honorable Consul General, Dr. Nagendra Prasad, our fellow awardees, and also would like to greet our board members and ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for this award, although Neeraj mentioned about several awards, maybe 2 dozen, but this means a great deal to me because it's coming from my own society. It so happened that in the early 70s, I came to Columbia University School of Engineering after within 2 years, got involved with the community, and the community was building up at that time because the 747 used to land at JFK, and everybody landed in near Columbia University because that was the biggest student community. I became the president of India Club of Columbia University, but then from there onwards, when the community was building up, all the social organization, language-based groups, Hindu temples, Gurudwaras, every groups were starting up. I saw an opportunity to bring them together under FIA, Federation of Indian Association, which was started in the 70s, mid 70s. Then we shared that experience in Chicago, Los Angeles, San Francisco, Columbus, Cleveland, and many other cities. Then issues were coming up with the community, the migration of Indians. There was the Select Commission on Immigration, which was going to stop the migration of children of immigrants and brothers and sisters of citizens, adult brothers. So we campaigned on that. And then the nuclear fuel issue came up under President Carter. So we campaigned to give nuclear fuel to India. So this resulted that we need a national organization bringing all the groups as a pressure group to look at the legislative issues, which formed the National Federation of Indian Associations. But in the 80s, another thing happened. There was a lot of discrimination and civil rights violation of people around the world, in Trinidad, Guyana, South Africa, Fiji, and even in USA, there was a doorbuster issue. So we invited all the people. We traveled all around the world to bring a big organize a big convention in 1989, the first convention where GoPio was formed. And GoPio is serving as a group to look after the interest of the community, even with the issues related with the government of India, including an issue came up, which was the high fee start for the passport surrender issue. Of course, government of India changed that. But other issues come up, we immediately look into that aspect. And of course, we help India whenever a disaster happens, something like that. And I've been fortunate to serve, and it's almost going to be 47 years, which I've been continuously serving the community. Several other institutions were started. The Kerala Center in New York, a physical center for Indian Americans and Malayalis. Then we have Indian American SAC, South Asian Council for Social Services. I was also a co-chair of the Jagdish Bhagwati Chair for Indian Political Economy at Columbia. So all this gave a lot of pleasure to serve the community and India. And in 2013, when I visited Maryland for the ASCI meeting, I was a speaker. Dr. Srikant Agarwal was the president. So Dr. Harry Bindal asked whether I could help ASCI. I do see a great opportunity for ASCI because engineers and scientists and applied scientists and technologists are the largest group in America. And this continued to will be the largest group, much bigger than the medical doctors and hotel motel groups. So we want to make it a very big group and a very active group. And after, as Ambassador Sandhu said, we have been contributing to India, but we can find more opportunities like what Dr. Deshpande has been doing. We can find more people to help India. And I request everybody to become ASI members. And thank you for this award. And this award money will be used for a charitable cause. Thank you very much, Dr. Neeraj Benda. Thank you, Piyush.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Abraham. And once again, thank you, Neeraj, for being our first patron. And I want to make sure our membership grows. And I want to assure Council General and those who are new to ASCI that ASCI has been sponsoring scholarships for students, undergraduates, as well as graduate students. And over these years, we've given hundreds of thousands of dollars as scholarships, and we use this for our youth programs and upskilling programs. And all of us are volunteers here. None gets paid. We spend our personal time, and we have really scaled up our efforts during the COVID time, and we want to make sure we are taking the community along. So in response to Council General's statement that Silicon Valley should have the highest concentration, I have to say, Silicon Valley chapter is the most nascent chapter in ASCI history. I was asked to start this chapter after I went to and spoke at one of these conventions, and lo and behold, a couple of years later, with IBM support, I was able to start the Silicon Valley chapter, and now we've grown to a very good number. Of course, our parent chapter, Michigan, remains a strong one as well. So with that, I want to invite our next presenter for the next award, who is going to be Vatsala, my co-host here. And she is a national board member as well as former chapter president from Michigan, and to take over the next award.
Hi, Piyush, and hi, everybody. Great to get this award thing done. Let me add the person I'm actually giving the award.
And I have to, while she's doing that, ASCI has an awards committee that gets that gets together, seeks nominations from everyone and public as well as from the board. And after that, the awards committee deliberates. So, and as a result of that, we have chosen some folks, and you are seeing some of them in front of you. So with that, over to you, Vasla, again.
Yeah, so let me introduce the ACI Engineer of the Year Award for Technology and Cybersecurity, Subhana Singh. She's the Senior Vice President at Auth0 or Okta, since Okta acquired it. And you can see by her smile that she totally deserves everything that she's done. So Bhavna Singh is a senior technology executive with 20 plus years of experience in successfully building and leading talented teams of engineers to transform and scale technologies for a global user base. She has led multiple tech transformations, scaled platforms from 0 to 100 plus million monthly users, led global expansion of products, participated in multiple acquisitions, and spearheaded innovation to drive user growth and engagement, delivering multi-million-dollar revenue growth. She's, like I said, she's currently the SVP of Engineering at Auth0, acquired by Okta, worldwide leader in customer identity authentication and authorization space, and heads Auth0's 300 plus globally located engineering team, leading technology strategy, and 200 plus private and public cloud environments, serving 4.5 billion plus logins per month. I can keep going on, but I think she needs to talk now. So Bhavna, presenting to you. Do you want CG to do that, Piyush? CG, would you be... Dr. Nagendra Prasad, would you read it out, please?
Yeah, sure. American Society of Engineers of Indian Origin, 34th National Convention, ASI Engineer of the Year Award, presented to Ms. Bhavana Singh, Senior Vice President, Okta. Congratulations, Bhavana ji.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you, Piyush. Thank you, Vatsala. Thank you, Dr. Prasad. It's an honor, of course, and I'm very humbled, to be honest, as I'm hearing all of the achievements of folks. I stand nothing, to be honest, with Dr. Deshpande and Dr. Abraham. It's just a very, very humbling experience for me to be here. As an immigrant, I think you heard Dr. Deshpande's and Dr. Prasad, your point of view. We all come here with dreams of achievement. We all come here with dreams of making a difference. And through the journey, these awards, they give us confirmation that we are on the right path, but also encourages us to push forward and do more. And the kind words from all of you that I heard tells me that I have to do a lot more. I'm way behind. I'll also say, thank you, ASEI, for introducing me to this wonderful group. Such a reach of this event, from mayors, from CG, from ambassadors joining here, really great foundations. I can't say enough to say it's such an honor to be here with all of you. But I'll also say that it just speaks to how far we have come as a community, and I think Consular General was reflecting on that. But I'll also say the fact that ASEI, this is the first time I was introduced to ASEI, and I've been in Bay Area for 2 decades now. So this is it's also a reflection that there's so much more that needs to be done, and so much more that if we do, that we can achieve and have an impact here as well as back home in the country. So I'm certainly signing up with all the words that I heard with few of you, and I'll be reaching out to see how I can offer more from my time. And just the encouraging words of Dr. Prasad, Dr. Deshpande, I just hope that I can play my small part in this big effort that all of you are driving. So I'm certainly encouraged, and I'm really, really honored and humbled to receive this award. Thank you so much.
Wonderful, Bhavna. And while we have never met in person, the pandemic has prevented us from doing so. You spoke at our convention last month, and of course, the award committee chose you. So with that, congratulations. And you have already signed up for the cybersecurity thing. So you and I
I
are gonna talk
absolutely
about
will
it.
do.
Awesome, awesome. So
Thank
with
you.
that, let me invite our next presenter, who is Surbhi Kaul. She is the Vice President at Juniper Networks and also a board member at Silicon Valley, as well as our newly elected board member at the national chapter. So to take over and talk about our next awardee. Surbhi?
Thank you very much, Piyush. And what a pleasure to be here in such esteemed company this morning, being part of giving out some of these amazing awards. So the award I'm going to present is the ASCI Engineer of the Year Award in Robotics and Aerospace. And this award is being given to Dr. Shrija Nag, and who is the head of software systems engineering at Neuro, which is a Silicon Valley startup that is building and deploying driverless and passenger-less robotic fleets on public roads. She leads a team that is responsible for setting the requirements, verification, and validation of the end-to-end autonomy stack to ensure the robots drive safely and efficiently. Shrija is also a senior research scientist at NASA Ames Research Center. She has been contracted by Bayer Institute, where she serves on D-Shield, which is distributed spacecraft with heuristic intelligence to enable logical decision-making. She previously served as the systems engineering lead at NASA's Distributed Spacecraft Autonomy Flight Mission and co-led NASA Ames Space Traffic Management Lab as well. Shrija has a PhD from the Department of Aeronautics and Astronautics at MIT, Cambridge, and her research interests include distributed space systems, space robotics for Earth observation, space traffic management, and vehicular robotics validation. She has applied her robotics research as a consultant in Swarm Technologies, which was acquired by SpaceX, and Spire Global. She has also authored more than 65 publications and journals, conferences, and books, and served as investigator on 8 competitively awarded research grants at NASA. And she's a panelist on the selection committee for 7 NASA programs and flight missions. In her recent past, Shrija her contributions have won her NASA Ames Honor Award for Group Achievement, CoSPAR's Outstanding Paper Award, and IIT Kharagpur's Young Alumni Achievers Award, as well as she has been featured on CNBC News, IEEE iGrass opening keynote, and NASA Spotlight interview. I think the list of her accolades goes on. And the last thing I will call out that she has been a speaker at the 33rd convention for ASCI as well. So welcome here, Shrija, and huge congratulations to you. And CG, maybe you can give her best of the award to her as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Scout. American Society of Engineers of Indian Origin, 34th National Convention, ASEI Engineer of the Year Award presented to Dr. Shrija Nag, Head of Software Systems Engineering, Neuro, and Senior Research Scientist, NASA. Congratulations, Shrija, Dr. Shrija.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for this honor, ASAI. It's very humbling to be sharing this space with fellow awardees who are stalwarts in their fields and to be able to participate in these inspiring conversations. As adventurous as my ride has been from India to the US for grad school and then many years in Silicon Valley, I would like to take this award for the amazing teams that I've worked with. I think my achievements would be incomplete without their creativity and hard work. So I look forward to working as a team to continue to improve science and technology and to continue to work towards inclusive growth, as Desh Deshpande put it. Thank you once again for this award and this recognition.
I'm very impressed to see that Dr. Nag is out and about somewhere, doing some more research on the weekends, maybe. So glad you could join us, even from wherever you are. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Surbi. And I know, Srija, I hope you are okay. You had a doctor's appointment this morning and you received your award just this morning, just in time. So thank you for displaying that. So thank you. And with that, we move on to our next award. Our next awardee actually couldn't make it, but I'll just quickly read the Entrepreneurship Award citation, and we'll move on in the interest of time. And if I would want to, Vasla, if you would want to line up the next things after this. So our next award is going for entrepreneurship on engineering entrepreneur of the year. And while traditionally ASCI has recognized entrepreneurs by honoring those who have started companies or taken companies public, the next awardee is somebody who has her contributions while building technology and media related businesses within an established company. So ASCI is pleased to recognize Shalini Govil Pai with an Entrepreneur of the Year award. And I want to read out her accomplishments. Shalini is currently VP and GM of TV at Google. Her leadership has led to winning strategies for distributing streaming media, including Netflix, Disney, and HBO Max across TV and mobile devices from all form factors. Previously, she served as Senior Director at YouTube, and her work enabled creators, storytellers, and citizen journalists to expand their reach and increase monetization. Prior to Google, she was at Pixar Animation, where she led the efforts for the first entirely CG animated blockbuster, Toy Story and A Bug's Life. Here, CG stands for not Council General, but computer graphics. So Shalini is a thought leader, and she's been writing in various magazines, Forbes, Vogue. She's won a number of awards, including Distinguished Alumni Award from Penn State, and she has a BS in computer science from Indian Institute of Technology, Bombay. And while she had a conflict and she was traveling, she couldn't be here. We recognize her with the award, and we would like to, I'll just say, American Society of Engineers of Indian Origin is awarding the Engineering Entrepreneur of the Year award to Shalini Govil Pai, VP and GM, Google TV, on February 27, 2022. Now, let's move on to our next award set, which is the ASCI Service Excellence Award. So I would like to call Vasla back for that.
I'm just going to add our person who's getting the award.
I added, yes.
Okay. So our next award, the ASCI Service Excellence Award, goes to an excellent person by the name of Amrish Chopra. He's the Cloud R&D Manager at VMware. He's a senior technology leader with experience managing teams in a large production environment from the early days of the SaaS cloud environment. He serves as Cloud R&D Manager for VMware and has spent the last 18 years in a leadership role with VMware. You might look at him and think that he's only 18, but he's spent 18 years in the leadership. He has a successful track record of delivering enterprise products as a service. He has served as director in ASCI Silicon Valley chapter for the past several years and has contributed to the ASCI's community outreach program, successfully moderating sessions during Silicon Valley chapter programs since 2019 and ASCI's 33rd convention in 2020. He was also instrumental in doing plenty of support in the youth science programs and events over the years. He's a regular contributor to the content published by ASCI and helped resurrect the ASCI monthly newsletter in 2021 after a gap of decades. He has been a YTE judge at the regional as well as national level. In fact, any task that needs attention, Amrish has proven to be the Mr. Dependable for ASCI. And that I personally have an experience with too. Over to you, Amrish.
Thank you.
And
Thank you very much.
CT, would you like to read it out before
I
we
have
give
it
it up?
actually, by the way, award is here.
The ASEI Service Excellence Award presented to Amrish Chopra, Cloud Services R&D Manager, VMware. Congratulations, Amrish.
Hey, thank you very much. I appreciate it. I know we're short on time, so but I appreciate it. You know, this is not even just my award. This is an award for the whole community here. You know, I was actually going back and looking at last year how many events we have done, and it was just amazing that I think we did almost like 26 to 30 events all of last year. You know, it looks like, you know, we had like so many of these YTE tournaments. We had engineering tales, we had AI Summit, UX Summit, Space Summit. So it's an amazing achievement from last year. We also started our newsletter and actually we got a sponsorship thanks to Piyush. So, but it's not just my work. It's been a work for a lot of community members. It's all a team effort. So, but I appreciate all the, you know, thank you very much for this award. I really appreciate it. I won't take too much of the time. I know we're already past 11. So thanks again.
Thank you, Vatsala and Amrish. And CG, if you would please stay for 5 more minutes. There are some students and some members from India who are here, and we would play the videos later after CG leaves. But let's go over to our special awardees. And for our special award category, we have a very special program here because, as you know, what happened in 2020, we saw the onset of COVID, and it brought our lives to a total standstill. However, there were numerous efforts that were happening to get us back to normalcy. One such effort, Dr. Deshpande talked about, genomic sequencing and getting the vaccines in place. But there were some engineers involved in some of the efforts that we got to be aware of as well. And in those darkest moments, there were bright spots, and ASCI will honor 4 engineers for their service to society during those trying times with a special Engineer with a Heart Award. And those folks are Sanjeev Goyal, an entrepreneur and angel investor from Las Vegas, for leading efforts of IIT alumni through United Against COVID initiative. Mr. Yudhvir Moore, Vice President at Zora in Noida, India, who mobilized volunteers and efforts to help over 9,000 women to find employment following traumatic loss of a partner or a parent due to COVID. And Tarun Kapala, Technical Program Manager at Spring ML in Hyderabad, who took leave of absence to become an emergency ambulance driver to help victims and families during peak of COVID and provided exemplary service. Finally, and not the least in this special awards category, is Divya Ashok, an ASCI board director from Silicon Valley, who led the efforts from her organization Salesforce to organize executive support for 2 plane loads of relief material, including oxygen concentrators. I would like to all of them to come on stage, be highlighted, and I will show their awards here. And if anyone, I know Yudhvir was sick as well, so he is not here, but definitely I want to make sure we recognize these outstanding achievers and folks with a heart that I want to make sure people get to know about. So let's see if you are able to see my screen. And I'll very quickly say this: ASCI Engineer with a Heart Special Award to Sanjeev Goyal, to Tarun Kapala, Divya Ashok, and Yudhvir Moore. Ladies and gentlemen, the awardees in round robin fashion. Sanjeev, would you like to say a few words? 30 to 60 seconds, please.
I just want to thank all of you. And those was unfortunate time. I'm really grateful to a lot of people who have helped me. Piyush, thank you so much. I'm really grateful I'm here. And congratulations to all the other awardees too.
Thank you, Sanjeev. Congratulations. And Tarun?
I'm very humbled and I'm thanking everyone for this award. And I'm happy that I could make a difference here in India after coming back from the US. And I'm really happy that as an engineer, I'm making that impact here in India.
Congratulations, Tarun. And Divya?
I'd like to echo, truly humbled to have been able to create impact in the moment of adversity, but couldn't have done it without my teams and without the fund managers who helped us all put it together.
Congratulations, all the special engineers with the heart. This is from my heart to yours. Namaste. And my soul says, you guys have done an awesome job. Please continue. And I look forward to staying engaged with you all. With that, let's move on to our last award category, which is the Youth Technology Exchange. For that, I would like to invite Surbhi back onto the stage. Surbhi? Surbhi, go ahead, please.
Yeah, thank you, Piyush. And I think we have 3 winners of the YTE. And I would just read their information from our data here. So Nidhi Mathilahali, sorry if I'm mispronouncing your last name, Nidhi. Grade 11 at Saratoga High School. She won Women in Computing Honorary Mention Awards in the last 2 years and has written articles and blogs for ASEI. Congratulations, Nidhi. Apart from other prizes at Synopsis Science Fair in the past 2 years as well, you have won 2nd place at ASEI SVL BETS 2020 and 1st place at the YTE 2020. And here you are winning the 1st spot at this year's YTE as well. Your project was a physical device to help the visually impaired read money using AI and machine learning in 3rd world countries from the project you submitted. Thank you so much, Nidhi. The next awardee winner is Isha Jagdish, who's also a grade 11 student at Saratoga High School and placed 3rd last year and has been consistent, is not only ASEI, but also other nonprofit works as well. And your project was a multi-step machine learning based predictor of Parkinson's disease progression using GWAS, patient symptoms, and gene expression data. Congratulations, Isha. So glad to have you here. And the 3rd place is won by Siddharth Jain and Asim Khan, who are both, I think, in Mumbai. And you have created a haptic 4D model along with machine learning analysis by developing a non-invasive pressure mapping method to screen genital skin cancer by Siddharth and Asim. So congratulations to all of you and appreciate your effort in joining us and contributing to this platform. We look forward to having you rise and shine in your careers in the future and track your journey and be here for you as you and when you need it. Thank you.
Congratulations, YT winners. If you can show your awards, if you have received them, please bring them on the screen. And I have to say the first 2 prizes also come with cash awards, and not only the winners here, 4 winners, but also the finalists get book awards. I've already sent out notifications, and you will be getting your books through our sponsor as well. So with that, I think we have overshot our period. But I want Vatsala, if you can play the volunteer appreciation video, please, and then we'll end to come to a close.
Give me a second.
And I have to say this, while this convention was all about sustainability and technology, I mean, I am personally very humbled to see all the projects by these youngsters and all the great work that our distinguished guests and winners today have done. I feel so small and very inspired at the same time to continue to do what I do. And I want to leave you with one message. First of all, thank you to all the chief guests, and I hope I don't see Rakesh. I had asked Rakesh to do a word of thanks. If you are here, I would let you do that.
He was here.
Rakesh, you're here?
I'm here.
Yes.
Okay, so I'll say something here and then you can take over. My final message is for this convention is for all of us to contribute towards the United Nations Sustainability Development Goals. We should create more than what we consume and leave things at a better place than you found them. And after all, we have not inherited this world. We have simply borrowed it from our next generation, and don't let them down. With that, Vasla, you can play the video, and Rakesh, you can do word of thanks.
Well, congratulations again to all awardees. Very well deserved. And thank you for accepting the awards and joining us today. And on behalf of ACI Silicon Valley and our national board, I would like to thank our honorary chief guest, Counsel General Dr. Nagendra Prasad, and to the Office of Ambassador for sending a very nice message and for supporting ACI. Thank you to our sponsors, O'Reilly, our ACI board members, Dr. Thomas Ibrahim, Piyush Malik, and our entire board for their continued participation. And thank you, ACI award committee members, without whom this event would not have been possible. Wishing everybody a happy Sunday and a happy week ahead.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. This concludes the event.
Thank you, everyone. Have a pleasant week.